Greetings, everybody. Glad to welcome you aboard tonight. The third meeting this year between the Heat and the Bullets. The season series even at 1. Heat lost in Baltimore in November, won here back on the 17th of January. And that starting lineup is a record of 10-5 for head coach Pat Riley, who worked his team hard yesterday in practice but gave them this morning off. Matter of fact, the Heat had their pregame walkthrough instead of this morning at 11, this afternoon at 5:30. A coach that knows when to put the hammer down and when to lift it up. And the night's starting lineups are brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Jack, we've talked a lot about the second-year All-Star Juwan Howard, but Miami's rookie power forward Kurt Thomas, an emerging defensive player. That should be a fun matchup to chart.
Well, it will be, Eric, and Howard usually at the small forward position, but because of the injuries, Calbert Cheaney moving up to the small forward, and Howard becoming the big forward and drawing the assignment with Kurt Thomas. Good matchup for both guys, but especially challenging for Kurt Thomas.
The season series even at 1. The all-time series led by the Heat 20-13. Miami has won 13 of 17 here, and they will play in Landover against the Bullets Monday night, April the 8th. There's our officiating crew: Ronnie Nunn, Ted Bernhardt, and Woody Mayfield. And we are set for a Friday night of NBA hoops here in Miami. And don't forget, tomorrow night, the Heat and the Detroit Pistons, 7:30 start from the Palace of Auburn Hills. We'll have that one for you on UPN 33.
Each of these games are going to be a monster for the Heat, and they just have to take them in stride, get ready to play their best game every time out from now till the playoffs begin. Look at the size of Murison. He is a monster guy.
And he has had 2 monster games against Miami. Matter of fact, he's averaging 19 points and 18 rebounds against the Heat this year.
Well, they're sitting together.
Juwan Howard's miss taken down by the Wizard, Walt Williams. Brent Price matching up against Tim Hardaway.
Now Hardaway can post him up, Eric. Good luck by Hardaway inside.
8 to shoot. Williams on the fadeaway.
Nice.
Right on the money for the Wizard, who struggled against the Lakers the other night. Made just 3 out of 12 from the field.
Will help Walt to get his game together early on. He has a size advantage over Cheaney that Pat Riley would like to take advantage of.
As Murison made the turn, Alonzo Mourning called for his first foul. Funny, a former Heat player in Liddell Eccles against a former Bullet in Rex Chapman.
Well, in the NBA, you get all kinds of crazy relationships, Eric. That's only one of many.
Here's Top Gun. You remember him well from a year ago. Kurt Thomas pulling down the rebound. The Bullets have missed their first 2 shots. Murison getting back to deflect Hardaway's look-ahead pass out of bounds.
Just in the nick of time. That ball was almost past Big George. Alonzo had a step advantage on him going to the basket.
Big George Murison has made steady progression. This is his 3rd year in the NBA, and his numbers keep getting better. Rex unloads. His 3-pointer bounces off to young Brent Price. He, too, is a 3rd-year man. Sat out all of last year with a knee injury to his left knee. And Walt Williams called for the Heat's 2nd foul here in the first quarter.
Well, Brent Price will keep probing the defense. Doesn't have blinding speed, but good quickness. Taking advantage of any crack in the defense to penetrate or any sag to knock down a distance shot.
And like his brother, very good off the pick and roll. Calbert Cheaney on the crossover and a 3-second violation against George Murison. We've talked about the long-distance shooters for the Bullets. Brent Price and Tim Legler have combined to make 216 threes on 48%. So beware of them.
Indeed, Eric.
All right, one-on-one. Zoe and the big fella. One-on-one.
Nice.
Will hook.
Nice work by Zoe.
Soft touch, his first score, and Miami off to a 4-0 start.
And Big George worked with him, moved his feet well. Zoe dug that shoulder into him, got enough shooting space to throw in a jump hook.
Of course, Mourning in a big game against the Bullets here with 38 points, 15 rebounds, and 4 blocks. Howard over Thomas. Excellent defense.
Excellent is right. Burt didn't go for any of the pumps or jumps.
Oh, what a pass. What a
Oh, boy. Tim Hardaway handling the break so well. And Mourning running the floor like a sprinter. And Jim Lynam wants 20 seconds to talk it over.
Well, they'll need at least that much. Miami off to a 6-0 start. The Heat have made 3 of their first 4. The Bullets are 0 for 3.
Look at Zoe. Takes Murison out, giving him shooting space out there, trying to contain him in the lane. But Zoe got just enough space by banging him with that shoulder a little bit. And then in transition, Hardaway with a great pass, Zoe with a strong finish.
The quick hits of Tim Hardaway, Jack. Last 2 games, Tim Hardaway has racked up 26 assists, just 3 turnovers.
Well, that's, of course, excellent ratio between assists and turnovers. Look at those numbers. 19, 13,
and
Zippo on the turnovers.
Where's Timmy Hardaway working on 5 consecutive double-doubles. Last 5 games, averaging 18 points and 13 assists.
Great help by Rex Chapman on that one.
Here comes Howard. He lost the ball, and Kurt Thomas brings it down. Hardaway, nice get. Nice finish, and the Heat have scored the first 8 points. Zoe has 6 of them.
I'm sure Jim Lynam talked to the big guy, George Murison, about transition defense. He just got beaten again.
Pick and roll for Brent Price. He turns the corner, and it's stolen by Tim Hardaway, but a foul. And it's illegal defense, says Woody Mayfield. Miami's first warning.
Here comes Hardaway again, and there's Zoe. Hit that one off the glass to get it over Big George. But Mourning getting track room space ahead of Big George Murison in transition.
Sweet stuff. Miami's running game effective here in the opening 3 minutes. 8-0 your score, favoring the Heat. Juwan Howard.
That's terrific by Kurt Thomas.
Look at him work defensively. Got some help and a traveling violation. And Jack, so far Thomas's defense has been the dominating factor in this early moments, first 3 minutes.
Well, it's been strong against the guy that Jim Lynam would hope would be his star shooter, Juwan Howard. Thomas doing an excellent job of foot movement and hand position against the shooter.
Juwan Howard 0 for 3 with a turnover. Zoe, quick move. Murison cuts him off. Zoe gets it back. Tries again.
Got bumped on that one.
And Walt Williams comes away with it, so the Heat have another chance to go up by as many as 10. Zoe lost control but was fouled.
All right, I like all of this, Eric. Alonzo Mourning not being content with the perimeter jumper, putting it on the floor, using a variety of fakes. Watch this one. Goes baseline, no. Tries to whirl to the basket, no. So he scoops it underneath and gets the body contact.
And back to the free throw line where he struggled mightily against the Lakers, missed 10 of his 13. And it's got to be as much mental as it is mechanical with Alonzo at the stripe right now.
Oh, that's a better looking shot, Eric. Right there. That's a better. And look at the satisfaction and the response by the fans. But that's an entirely different shot than he was shooting the other night. This one has rotation on the ball. He's finishing higher. Look at that.
Beautiful.
Nothing but net.
And Alonzo Mourning has scored 8 of the Heat's first 10. And we got a shutout brewing here in Miami. 8.5 minutes to go in the first. Brent Price on the pull-up.
Oh, boy. Brent Price using that little forearm shiver to give himself shooting space. Oh, boy. Look at this. Hardaway. Tim Hardaway can beat Price off the dribble. Not so much with speed, but with his crossover dribble and maneuverability. He drew Murison away from the basket and dished another assist to big man Alonzo Mourning.
Zoe has 10. Hardaway with 3 assists, and the Heat lead at 12-2. Thomas over to help out on Eccles. Howard tees it up and buries his first jumper. Juwan Howard averaging 21 points a game.
The Heat very alive in this game so far. Back pick by Chapman.
Thomas has the step and finishes. Well, the Heat playing very well here in the early moments. Again, they are up by 10.
This is excellent execution by the Heat at both ends of the floor.
Howard Howard looks in for Murison. It's a great look. Mourning pulls down his third rebound. Heat have out-rebounded the Bullets 7-1 so far. Hardaway for Thomas. Book it. Oh, no, popped out. Pardon there? Murison with a rebound. Price defended well. Edel Eccles making his 15th start. They signed him on the 11th of December. He was sitting out. Walt Williams off and running. Rex, quick release. And off the hands of Howard, out of bounds, stays with the Heat. And we get our first timeout to Miami with 6:44 left in the first. All Heat so far. Today, you haven't driven today's Chevrolet. And by the Discovery Channel, explore your world. And welcome back inside the Heat's house. This power dunk of the game brought to you by Briggs & Stratton.
Penetration by Hardaway. A strong finish by Mourning on the power dunk.
It's actually brought to you by Hardaway and Mourning, along with Briggs & Stratton. And Tim Hardaway setting the table very well since coming over in that trade. Already with 3 assists tonight. Brent Price picking up his first foul. Alonzo Mourning off to a very nice start. He has outscored George Murison 10-0 so far.
And the Heat out-rebounding the Bullets 8-2 at this juncture.
Miami off to a 14-4 lead. 6.5 left, first quarter. Hardaway's line drive triple. Thomas on the putback.
Alonzo Mourning got a piece of that ball first to keep it alive. Kurt Thomas with a short flipper to get the score.
4 points for Thomas. Miami up 12. Their biggest lead of the game. And the Heat off to a very nice start. You see both ends of the floor. The double comes on Big George, and he is fouled. Walt Williams doubling down, drew the foul, and that is the second foul of this first quarter on the Wizards.
Let's take a look at it. Ball goes inside to Murison. Pat Riley isn't strong on double teaming this team, but Walt Williams came down to bother Murison and drew the foul.
Well, that is a landmark miss. The Bullets had made 31 consecutive free throws in their last 2 games. They were 19 for 19 on the line to Indiana Wednesday night. The game before that, they went 12 for 12 at Cleveland.
Now, this is a good shooting team, Eric. From the field, inside, and from the free throw line. Bullets in a trap.
Rex takes out Big George, who sends him back. Brent Price for Liddell Eccles and right back. And one pass too many for the Bullets as the Heat hustled back. Miami knocks it out. Tyrone Corbin into the game for Walt Williams.
Eric, by Kurt Thomas, who was the stopper of that transition fast break effort.
Under 6 minutes left, first quarter. One-on-one for Juwan Howard. Thomas again, right with him. Mourning with a great screen out of Murison. Alonzo now with 4 rebounds. Hardaway, right at you. And foul by Brent Price. The second foul on Washington's point guard. Tim Hardaway upset when he didn't shoot the ball after the whistle blew.
Tim Hardaway is having his way with the ball against Brent Price, and that will get Brent a seat on the bench. And this little guy, Chris Whitney, will challenge Hardaway. A little stronger on the dribble, but he's smaller than Price, and Hardaway can post him.
Chris Whitney out of Clemson. He spent his first 2 years in the league with the San Antonio Spurs. He's in the CBA up in West Palm Beach this year, playing for the Florida Beach Dogs. Kurt Thomas with a loose ball foul, his first of the night. Well, news from the front office brought to you tonight by Office Depot. Franchise record for Heat wins in a single season is 42. The Heat could equal that if they go 7-6 in their last 13 games.
Well, that's a good objective, but the better one is to make the playoffs, guys, whatever it takes.
Liddell backing down.
Tough down at the low post. Triple team.
Intrusive attempt. Albert Chapman. And Rex Chapman with a rebound. The Bullets 2 of 10. So fouled by Whitney. Got the bucket anyway.
Alonzo Mourning loves it. But that was a great look by Rex Chapman off the rebound. Rex Tim Hardaway, in particular, always looking up. Watch Chapman. Eyes up, throws long. Mourning again, beating the defense down the floor. And he shrugs off Chris Whitney's effort like it doesn't even exist.
Take a harder foul than that. And Alonzo Mourning has made his first 3 foul shots, and he has 13 points, and the Heat lead it 19-5.
Mourning spent some time with Tim Hardaway at the free throw line. Hardaway great with his release.
Oh, nice defense by Tyrone Corbin, sliding down in that help mode to knock it away.
Heat doing such a good job, Eric. Defense is strong, rebounding, consistent, and the transition game near perfection.
Bullets have missed 8 of their 10 shots so far. Eccles burrows in and rolls it home. Liddell averaging 7.5 points a game. Gets his first pair.
Here they come. Wow. That's great body control.
Nice handoff, but this one sails out of bounds. Last touched by the Bullets. 4:28 left first quarter. Miami in front by 12, 19-7.
Hardaway coming through the lane with almost breakaway speed. Somehow managed to control his dribble and save that ball from going out of bounds.
Rex for 3. And the rebound taken down by Juwan Howard, his first of the night. He averages nearly 8 boards a game. Eccles by Chapman, and let's see which way it goes. Ronnie Nunn at first looked to be indicating an offensive foul, but no, it's on Rex Chapman, his first of the game, and Miami now over the limit.
Rex thought that Woody Mayfield, the outside official, called Liddell for hooking, which he did. Ronnie Nunn, the inside official, and in the rank of officials on the floor, the lead official in this game, his call took preference, merely because Woody Mayfield didn't pursue his call.
Liddell has now made his last 16 foul shots, and tonight has 4 points for Washington.
Given the Bullets showing trap, they forced 17 turnovers a game.
One of the best marks in the league.
Another nice pass. Oh boy.
Second try for Zoe, right there.
Excellent. Boy, is Zoe active tonight.
What a first quarter. 15 points for Alonzo on 6 for 9 shooting. Heat leading at 21-9. Under 4 minutes left here in the first quarter. It's been impressive for Miami. And that's a block on Kurt Thomas. Trying to defend on that pick and roll. He picks up his second foul.
Kurt Thomas stepped out a little too aggressively on that one. That's a good call.
For the most part, though, Doc, you've got to love the rookie's defense. He's priding himself on filling the role Pat Riley has prescribed for him, defending and rebounding and getting his points when they present themselves.
He's defending a little differently tonight, Eric, not putting an arm on the man he's defending, giving him just a little space so he has a better chance of moving with someone as quick as Howard off the dribble.
Yeah, the reigning NBA Player of the Week, Chris Gatling of Miami, on for Kurt Thomas, who leaves with 4 points, 4 boards, and 2 fouls.
So far in this game, the starting front court of the Heat outscoring their counterparts on the Bullets 21-3.
10-point lead for Miami. 3:40 left first quarter. Rex Chapman open, but short. And this is Chris Whitney with it, hitting ahead for Eccles. Liddell, originally a second-round pick of the Bullets, spent his first 4 years in Washington. Played last year with the Heat. Howard bottled up. Whitney for 3. And Gatling pursues his first rebound tonight.
Good defense again by Gatling against Howard. Great look.
And knocked out of bounds. Jim McIlvaine into the game, replacing George Murison. McIlvaine, the second-year center from Marquette, goes 7-1. Doesn't give you much in the way of points or rebounds, but his coach, Jim Lynam, says this guy an excellent shot blocker.
He is, Eric. He has great time. He has a long wingspan, too, that helps him.
Hardaway, he's been off with his shooting.
Alonzo Mourning with a one-hand stuffer.
And one would think he'd play like a man possessed after the disappointing loss to Los Angeles. Zo has been a one-man wrecking crew. Jim Lanham wants to talk about it. Alonso has 17 points, and the Heat up a dozen.
Heat by 12, and this is how it happens. This is Liddell Eccles with the ball here, and this is Juwan Howard, who would like to get position. This is his counterpart, Chris Gatling, going to try and keep him out. But look, freeze it there. Howard gets it in the paint, but Gatling is going to force him out of there and make him take a difficult shot. Back to live action.
Liddell Eccles just tossing in a triple from the left wing. Hardaway all the way to the bucket. Mourning. Another rebound. He took a hard foul from Jim McIlvaine. Jack Ramsey, Alonzo Mourning playing like a man possessed and playing like the all-star he is. 17 points, 6 rebounds, and we still have 2.5 minutes to go in the first quarter.
He's getting a lot of these opportunities from Hardaway's penetrations. And that last one, even though Hardaway shot the ball, McIlvaine had come to block the shot, and that left Zo open at the basket for the rebound and the attempted score.
Jack, one could have guessed, knowing the temperament and competitiveness of this guy, that he'd come back with a vengeance tonight.
Eric, after that game the other night, I mentioned this on our post-game report, Zo was the last guy out of the locker room. When I went in there much later, he was still in the weight room, pushing iron and doing stretches with Bill Ferran, and then went in and iced both his legs into the ice whirlpool.
Yeah, he's got 19 points tonight, and he's made all 5 of his free throws so far. Legler driving on Askins, and Tim Legler draws a foul. Tim Legler, a guy you root for. Forget what jersey he wears, because he's worn a bunch. This is the 6th different team 29-year-old Tim Legler has played for out of LaSalle. 6 years in the CBA, and he's finally found an NBA home in Washington.
Jim Lynam really likes this kid, Eric. We see him, Jim Lynam and I see Legler in summer basketball at the Jersey Shore. And you can't help but marvel at this guy, who plays just about every Sunday in a pickup game that involves some fringe NBA players, a lot of local guys, and he just works on his game. And this shooting part of it is no accident. This guy has become a world-class shooter.
Well, he's made 20 straight free throws, and he was the winner in the AT&T shootout on All-Star Weekend.
There's the post-up.
Whitney defending Hardaway. He got a face full of Hardaway's elbow, and he also gets called for the foul. So Chris Whitney's second. Bullets are over the limit. Hardaway will shoot a pair with 2 minutes and 3 seconds left in a first quarter that Miami has had their way in. Heat up 9.
Watch the release of Tim Hardaway from the free throw line. And this is what he and Alonzo Mourning worked on yesterday, on getting that nice rotation. See how high Hardaway finishes and the nice rotation he gets with the ball. And in tonight's game, Alonzo Mourning has borrowed a few of those techniques.
Hardaway gets 1 of 2. McIlvaine outfights Gatling for the rebound. So the Heat lead is 10 with just under 2 left in this first period. Whitney looking in for Juwan Howard. Gatling there. And Howard misses another. Mourning with his 7th rebound. Juwan Howard now 1 for 7. Hardaway. The runner, and McIlvaine brings it down. Hardaway knocks it out of bounds. Funny, Tim Hardaway has set the table very well tonight, but he's missed his first 5 shots, and over the last 5 games, he's shooting about 32% on 20 of 65. So for the moment, his touch has left him.
This guy's touch almost never leaves him, Eric. That's Tim Legler.
50% from the field, 85% from the line, and he is a 50% three-point shooter, second best in the NBA to Steve Kerr of the Bulls. So the Heat by 8. They have led by as much as 14 in this first quarter.
Great pass by
Chris Gatling from Askins. I like the way Gatling hung and changed the shot to score it. First bucket for Gatling, and now he picks up his first foul.
We can see a replay of that. Watch Juwan Howard elbow Gatling right out of it. And Gatling somehow got called for the foul, which he doesn't quite understand.
Juwan Howard, number 16 in the league in scoring this year.
He's worked hard to get every shooting opportunity. The one he missed on the previous possession was the best look he's had at the basket tonight.
Tell you what, Bullets hanging around because of their free throw shooting. They are 9 for 10 and down by 8. Mourning at McIlvaine. What a first quarter. A record-setting first quarter for Alonzo Mourning. He has 21 points on 8 of 11 shooting.
And the Heat are just shredding that trapping defense of the Bullets.
This is the highest scoring quarter for any Heat player in franchise history. Eccles has it blocked by Zoe. Alonzo Mourning posting franchise record-setting numbers here in the first period with 21 points.
21 points and 7 rebounds so far in this game, Eric. 5 for 5 from the free throw line. Those are numbers that a lot of players would like to have for the game.
The previous Heat record for points in a quarter held by Glenn Rice was 19. Juwan Howard off the dribble right at Zoe. It rolls off. And it's Tyrone Corbin that clears it. Tony Smith in for Hardaway now. The Heat leading by 10, looking for the last shot of the first quarter.
Gatling.
Mismatch on Legler, who fouls it.
Chris Gatling, once he gets position, very, very hard for a forward to defend or a center. But in this case, Legler has no shot. But he's not going to give him a field goal either, is Tim Legler.
Chris Gatling on the year, 67% at the free throw line, but he has made 20 of his last 21. Oops.
Well, he has shot the ball so much better during this stretch from the free throw line. Eric, great rotation of the shot. That last one missed. And so does that one. That doesn't even hit
way off the mark. Chris Gatling, though, comes in tonight second best in the league in field goal percentage, trailing only Washington's George Murison. Gatling shooting 57% from the field, and Murison slightly ahead at 58%.
Let's see what the Bullets go for. Jim Lannon usually likes a high screen and roll, and that's what they're set up to do.
Whitney finds Howard, who fires and connects. Juwan Howard now with 6, and Miami's lead is 8.
He'd have time if they hurry.
So, not in time. But everything else worked out well for Alonzo Mourning. He scores 21 of Miami's 30 points, and by himself, he's nearly outdone the Bullets.
Heat by 8 at the end of one. Let's watch the Heat attack this trapping defense. That's Tim Hardaway. He's going to pass up court to Keith Askins. Askins gets the ball at the side court, frees it there. Askins here, Alonzo Mourning right in the paint. Askins gives it to Mourning. Mourning takes it to the well. That's McIlvaine trying for the shot block. Doesn't get it.
And when that man turns around, you will recognize him as Rocky Balboa, alias Sylvester Stallone. He's enjoyed the performance by Miami and Alonzo Mourning so far. Nice to see Sly in the Heat's house tonight, one of the honored guests. Alonzo Mourning, 21 points, 7 rebounds in the first quarter, highest scoring individual quarter for Heat player in franchise history. And we open the second quarter with the Heat up 8. George Murison back in the game for Washington. Tony Smith, Tyrone Corbin, Keith Askins, Chris Gatling, and Zoe start the quarter for the Heat. And Zoe bumped as he came across the lane. And the foul is on Chris Whitney.
Heat just dominating the backboards, Eric. We said that was a key, and that the Bullets are not a strong rebounding team. Actually, 5th weakest in the NBA total rebound percentage. The Heat 17-8 advantage in this first segment of the game. 6 zip on offensive rebounds, 8 zip on second chance points.
Alonzo now 6 of 6 at the line. Well, the Heat and Capital Bank are working together to offer 2 $4,000 scholarships to high school seniors who plan to attend a 4-year university. For further information, call 305-577-HEAT. Alonzo has 22 points. Chris Whitney, by the way, leaves the game with his 3rd personal foul. Brent Price is back, and Zoe is perfect at the line tonight. So Alonzo 23, Washington 22. Brent Price, bump from behind, a good no call. Howard with a shot clock at 4. Cheney gets it off in time.
Wow.
So the Bullets dodge a near turnover. First bucket for Calbert Cheney, who averages 15 points a game.
Talk about dodging the bullet. All the bullets were dodging, not.
Yeah, they'll only be the Bullets for a couple of more years, and then they'll change their name to the Washington Wizards. Zoe steps back.
Keith Askins. Keith Askins with a left-hand tipper.
Keith's first score puts Miami in front by 10. Howard spins away from Corbin, and that's another.
That's a nice one.
Very dangerous mid-range offensive player.
And great body control, great use of the footwork necessary to have a spin dribble move. And he works hard at the defensive end. Watch him against Gatling.
Juwan has 8 points, and he comes up with a foul, trying to defend Chris Gatling. The first foul on Juwan Howard, the second on the Bullets.
Let's take a look at Zoe getting the ball against Big George. George backing off, saying, in effect, Zoe, shoot the jumper. And he does. Askins with the tip.
Rex Chapman back in. Tyrone Corbin sits. Nice lob by Rex. Gatling has it rejected by George Murison.
He didn't jump an inch or a quarter thereof.
George 9th in the league in block shots, averages over 2 a game.
Terrific defense by Gatling.
Brent Price from distance, over the top. Well, the 3-point shooting hasn't been there for either side tonight. Miami 0 for 5. The Bullets 1 for 4.
Bullets hanging around in this game. They've been decisively outplayed at both ends of the floor. Still only trail by 8.
Heat scored the first 10 points in this game. Rex hasn't found the range just yet. Matter of fact, Chapman has missed all 6 of his shots. Calbert Cheney flips up an air ball, and that bounds off the Bullets. It's been a roller coaster year for Cheney. The 3rd-year man from Indiana's had some injury problems and some consistency problems.
Cheney thought he got fouled on that last one, Eric, and I think he was right.
9.5 minutes to go in this first half. Heat leading by 8. Gatling turns, drives, but comes up short. George Murison's 5th rebound. Here's Cheney, the left-hander. Look at Calbert Cheney, 2 in a row here in the second quarter. But he has scored 4, and the Bullets are within 6.
They keep running at you, Eric. Don't give this team a lot of open shots because they'll knock them down on you.
Quick move by Zoe.
Terrific. He got fouled.
And they'll call it a jump ball. Pat Riley and Alonzo Mourning, neither pleased with the call. But it's really gone Zoe's way much of the night. He's outscored Murison 23-1 so far. Keith Askins sits down. Walt Williams comes back. Askins leads with 2 points, couple of assists. Tony Smith also sitting down. And Tim Hardaway back into the game.
Pat Riley gesturing to Ted Bernhardt on that non-call to Mourning, but Bernhardt saw it differently.
The Heat backcourt, Hardaway and Chapman combined 0 for 11 shooting. Tim Hardaway is 0 for 5. Rex Chapman is 0 for 6. Foul on the play on Juwan Howard, his 2nd, and the 3rd on the Bullets. Danny Shays coming on. He'll sit Alonzo Mourning down. So it sits with 23 and 7 boards. And for Danny Shays, he is now just 4 games shy of 1,000 for his career.
A lot of games for a guy coming out of Syracuse that many didn't predict an extended NBA career, Eric.
And he is in his 15th season and quite proud of his alma mater, who are in the Final Four.
Ooh, tough one for Danny Shays.
Oh, the hoop. Sequoia just went down. A giant redwood. Murison getting back and jogging into the front court. Bullets are down by just 6. 8:18 left, second quarter. And a reach-in foul on Chris Gatling. It started off like it was going to be easy when the Heat ran off 10 straight points. But an NBA game runs 48 minutes, not 12.
And the trailing team inevitably makes a surge, and we've just seen the Bullets put on theirs.
Bullets are 3.5 games behind the Heat and Hornets for the final playoff spot in the playoffs. Something the Bullets have not been to in a while. Matter of fact, this likely to be their 8th straight year not in the postseason. Shays on the intercept. This is the Wizard behind his back.
Walt the Wizard behind the back dribble and the two-hand stopper at the hoop.
Oaks in Miami enjoying that. The Heat up 8. Here's Howard. Gatling took it away from Chaney, then lost it out of bounds, so the Bullets will keep it. 7:48 left in what has been an entertaining first half.
Bullets, a very, very active and dangerous team.
Ziegler's miss. This is Calvert Chaney. Fresh shot clock. Chaney was fouled as he went up. Tim Hardaway trying to claim the foul, but it will go against Walt Williams, and that's his 3rd. And here's your cruise to the hoop tonight, brought to you by Norwegian Cruise Lines.
Walt Williams. That pass deflected. Shays to Williams, and Walt Williams behind the back and a two-hand stuffer.
Made in a Shays. Howard. For 2. Juwan Howard after a slow start in double figures with 10, and the Bullets hanging in. Tim Hardaway is now 0 for 6. He and Chapman both 0 for 6. Whoa, what a play, but Howard couldn't finish it. Here comes Williams. Hardaway for 3. Bucket.
That'll get him going.
First triple of the night for Miami.
Tim Hardaway, a scorer with a scorer's mentality, and a great assist guy. Miss a few, stay with it, keep shooting.
Miami has scored just 9 points here in the second quarter, and Big George gets the bucket and the foul. George Murison collecting his first field goal with 6:50 left here in the second quarter. Foul was on Danny Shays. The timeout to Miami with a Heat up 7.
There's your score in time. Heat lead by 7 with 6:50 to go. We are courtside with South Florida resident Sylvester Stallone, who attracts a lot of attention wherever he goes. Sly, let me.
Got to get accuracy into a game here.
Well, I tell you, he might.
Yeah.
He might be able to take you in tennis. How do you think about the Heat now staying in Miami?
I think it's fantastic. It really is. I think that I have to give the commissioners kudos for doing a fantastic job and maneuvering to keep them here where they belong.
All right, Sebastian. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Gentlemen, back to you.
Thanks, Dave. Nice to see Sly sitting courtside. And Andre Agassi, the man that was talking with Sly Stallone a couple of rows back. Andre making it to the finals of Lipton. Congratulations to Mr. Agassi.
I said hello to Pete Sampras the other night, Eric.
Danny Shays has it pop out.
Great hustle.
Shays won't count. He walked. You and Sampras have a nice conversation or a simple hello?
No, I talked to him about conditioning, Eric. I always like to see what guys in other sports are doing with regard to their conditioning. And he's a worker. He does weights. He does interval running in addition to a heavy tournament schedule.
Now, tennis is a grueling sport physically and mentally. By the way, Sly Stallone rumored to be interested in maybe someday using this building as is a film studio of sorts. Big George on the turn. Missing short, and Shays saves it in. Nice work by Danny. Heat are up 6 minutes left in the half. Hardaway. Got it.
Now Tim's starting to feel it. Nice rotation on that shot.
So the Heat are up by 8.
Transition offense by the Heat. Going great guns tonight.
And Jack, the Heat with just 1 turnover all night. That came on the Danny Shays walk a moment ago. 7 to shoot. Chaney over Hardaway. Murison over the top. No call? Yes. Ronnie Nunn does make the call. Second foul tonight on George Murison. Liddell Eccles coming back for the Bullets, and Tim Legler to the bench.
Heat went 17 and a half minutes without a turnover in this game. That's excellent because the Bullets induce a lot of turnovers. Only one of only 5 teams to push 17 or more turnovers per game. Nice
Setup by Hardaway. The triple rolled around and out for Keith Askins. And Danny Shays put his nose right into it and was called for the foul. Danny picking up his first foul tonight. The 28th game of the year that Danny Shays participates in for Miami. Remember when he first came to the club? Moved into a starting role with all the injuries. Never forget the game at Jersey when Shays was called upon for heavy minutes and racked up 17 points and 16 rebounds.
Eric, he'll never hurt you on the floor. He gives you a good effort every time he's out there. Oh, that's terrific position.
Howard runs it down. The Bullets down 8 points. Brent Price lobs it into the corner for Chaney. Has an open look. And Kurt Thomas grabs his 5th rebound.
Thomas, what a great job he's doing on team defense.
Hardaway with a quick triple. Mourning with a rebound is 8th. So, it rolls around and sticks. 25 for Alonzo.
And most of it taking the ball right to the hole against Big George. And so far, he's overwhelmed him down there.
10-point lead. Hardaway took it right away from Brent Price. Here comes Timmy. All the way for 2. Gotta love it, South Florida. You gotta love fast break offense off aggressive defense.
The defense has been superb. Hardaway keeping Brent Price from even touching the ball.
Bullets call timeout. The Heat defense has a stranglehold on Jim Lynam's group. They are shooting just 37%, and they trail it by 12. Miami has scored the last 6 points. They lead it by 12. It's been a sharp first quarter for the Heat. First half, I should say. Coming up tonight at halftime, Dave Lamont will discuss arena business with Pauline Winnick, the Heat Executive Vice President for Business Operations, plus a check of the Gatorade scoreboard. Of course, a very busy day in terms of arena talk. It looks like the Heat are going to be staying in Dade County, a beautiful waterfront facility around Bayfront Park. Of course, all of that in the future and a lot still to be sorted out. A very confusing situation, but apparently the Heat will be staying in downtown Miami. And there's a look at Lipton finalists, one of the best tennis players in the world, Andre Agassi.
Boy, do those guys hit the ball hard, Eric. Every stroke. And they also have that deft touch around the net.
That's a great game.
Oh, it's a terrific game. Great athletes in that game of tennis.
And Lipton, a wonderful event here in South Florida, which is going on. This is Brent Price behind his back for Big George, who knocks in the short jumper. Big George has been very quiet, Jack. Just 5 first-half points.
Well, the Heat have defended him very well, Eric. He's not a guy who can create his own shot.
Hardaway putting on a show with his ball handling. Here's Thomas, open 10-footer. Askins flying around, but the rebound to Chaney. Heat lead it by 10. This is Calbert Chaney, Consensus Player of the Year back at Indiana in his senior season in '93. Askins hustling to save it in.
Keith Askins, what an asset he is to his team.
Alonzo already with 25 points. Juwan Howard with a rebound. Howard with 3 boards. George Murison leading the Bullets with 8 rebounds. Alonzo also has 8 rebounds. Neither club shooting particularly well. The Heat at 41%. The Bullets at 38%. Howard on the up fake. It rolled off. And Alonzo Mourning with his 9th rebound. The Heat have a chance to build on this double-digit lead. And do they ever? Tim Hardaway.
Is he good with the ball or what?
Here's Brent Price. Mourning with his 10th rebound. Mourning is the Heat lose it to Brent Price. So walk in the park for 2.
That was just miscommunication between 2 players.
And Jack Alonzo Mourning with his 5th straight double-double. And he accomplishes this one in less than a half. 25 points, 10 rebounds. A dominating performance so far.
He's trying to get Rex Chapman going. Rex just doesn't have his shooting touch tonight.
Very uncharacteristic of the one-time Bullet and Hornet. Rex Chapman 0 for 7.
But we've all seen Rex go 0 for something and then come back and knock down a series of critical shots.
And Rex has had at least 1 3-pointer in 30 of his last 31 games. By 10. Top Gun cuts into the lead. Edel Eccles with 9 points now.
Edel looks trimmer to me, Aaron, when he was with the Heat.
Under 2 minutes left in the first half. Out of bounds off Murison. So the Heat will keep it with 14 on the shot clock. George Murison from Romania. It's his 3rd year in the league and his 3rd year in the US of A. And what remarkable strides this guy has made as a person and as a player. You could make a case for George as one of the league's most improved players, although he did make great strides a year ago, but he continues to better his NBA game.
Every year, Eric, this guy, a lot of people laughed at Big George when he came into the NBA, thought Washington may have made a mistake, but he's paid big dividends. John Nash, general manager of the Bullets, was the guy who latched on to George Murison, made him their choice.
A second-round choice.
Yeah, not in the first round. A lot of teams would wish they had the same foresight as Nash had.
By the way, this copyrighted program presented by the authority of the Miami Heat, intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures and descriptions of this game without the express written consent of the Miami Heat and Sunshine Network is prohibited. So, on the take, 2 more. 27 in the first half for Mourning. Now the Heat by 10, 49-39. Juwan Howard on the pull-up. Kurt Thomas with rebound number 6. Thomas averaging 8 rebounds a game in his last 5.
So clear the side and let Hardaway go against Price.
His legs into the lane. Look at that flip. But Murison blocks Thomas's shot out of bounds. Tim Hardaway, the numbers don't show how creative he's been tonight. He has just 4 assists, but it's like he has that ball on a string.
He's just run the offense against a team that can't stop him, Eric.
Here's Zoe, open
That's
look.
A good play.
2 more.
That's a good play. Direct inbounds pass with Murison playing off Mourning, and Zoe taking advantage for a 12-foot jumper.
29 for Zoe. The Heat leading 51-39 as Askins knocked it out of bounds.
The Heat has done a remarkable job on screen and rolls, getting the defender on the screener to step out high, slow down Price, and then recover to the open players.
Under a minute left in this first half. What a half it's been for Alonzo.
Inside 10 on the shot clock.
Now down to 2. Askins knocks it away, and that will be a 24-second violation on the Bullets. Defense on display tonight, Doc. The Bullets shooting 38%, and Miami's defense keeps getting better.
Keith Askins has been a big contributor to that, Eric. He's everywhere at the defensive end. Challenging the dribbler, helping his teammates, rotating to open shooters, and then getting to the board to either keep it alive or to get the rebound himself.
And Rice debating Ronnie Nunn on the call. But the foul will go on him, his third of the night. Now, the first half record for points scored in a game for Miami. Matter of fact, the record for any half is 31. Sherman Douglas did it first half at Denver in December of 1990. Glenn Rice second half against Orlando in April of 92 at 31. Alonzo Mourning has 29 in the first half of tonight's game. Zoe had 22, which was a quarter record after one period. And Jack, the Heat have gotten very little from anybody else other than Mourning. He has 29. Tim Hardaway, the only other man in double figures, with 11. And after those two, the rest of the team has a total of 12.
Well, other than Rex Chapman, not many players have gotten shots, Eric. Most of them coming through Mourning, trying to take advantage of his game against the bigger but slower Eurostars.
Miami by 13 with 30 seconds to go in the second quarter.
Check there. Haskins.
Tyrone Corbin giving Chaney fits, but Calvert hung in there. Calvert Chaney all 6 of his points here in the second quarter. The lead is 11 as we wind down in the first half.
Heat going to hold for one. Let Hardaway take it against Price.
Haskins for 3. Yes!
Oh, it's big hoop. Big hoop for Keith Haskins.
Just his second three-pointer in his last 10 games. Could not have come at a better time. The Heat playing a very well-rounded first half. Good enough to get a standing ovation from the faithful here in the Heat's house. Alonzo with 29 and the Heat up 14. A lot of talk about the future of where the Heat will play, but tonight at the Heat's house here in Miami Arena, it's been all Heat. 55-41 your halftime tally, and more than a one-man show, although that's what your halftime stats will tell you. Alonzo Mourning with a dominating first half. Eric Reed along with the Hall of Famer Dr. Jack Ramsey. And Jack, you thought that was as well as the Heat have played in that first half as they've played this year.
They should bottle it, Eric, because if they play this way, they'll be in the playoffs and they'll do some damage in the playoffs. This is the kind of game Pat Riley wants to play. Stiff defense, great help, strong rebounding, transition game, and then excellent execution in the half court. The only drawback, the perimeter guys haven't knocked the shots down, but everything else has been superb.
If the Heat could play this well in the second half, they will go to Detroit for tomorrow night's game with 36 wins. Now let's check out your halftime numbers, brought to you tonight, as always, here on Sunshine Network by Outback Steakhouse. You see the Heat defense holding the Bullets to 39% shooting, and Miami with just 2 first half turnovers.
All the stats are lopsided in the Heat's direction, Eric. Look at those points in the paint, and the offensive rebounds have been sizable too, and only 2 turnovers, as you said.
And the scoring leaders, of course, Alonzo Mourning with a record-setting first quarter. He had 21 in the first, 29 points for the half. Timmy Hardaway with 11. Juwan Howard started slowly, but winds up with 10. And Top Gun Liddell Eccles with 9. How about your board men? Your leading rebounders brought to you by Hoover. George Murison, who also has 5 block shots, has 9 rebounds. And Alonzo Mourning and Kurt Thomas have cleaned the glass well for the Heat. And that leads us to our favorite spot here on the halftime show. Dr. Jack and his halftime highlight reel.
All right. Well, we're going to see Tim Hardaway, first of all, get past Price, dish off to Zoe, and Zoe with the right-hand stuffer. And then Tim Hardaway is going to go the distance on this one. Crossover dribble. Brent Price, where were you? As Hardaway lays it home. Brilliant first half by Hardaway. And then Price with an entry pass. And Juwan Howard, watch this footwork, folks. Spin dribble, little fall-away jumper. Bottom of the net for Juwan Howard. And then an old friend, Liddell Eccles, somehow gets past 2 defenders and shovels that one softly off the glass and down. But a great first half performance by the Miami Heat.
And Jack, tomorrow night, the Heat will play the Pistons at the Palace in Auburn Hills, a 7:30 tip. We're glad to have it for you on UPN 33. at 7:30, and then the Heat back at home next Tuesday night against Michael and the Bulls. It's already a sellout. If you don't have your tickets, settle back into your favorite living room sofa. We'll have it for you right here with the Sunshine Gang, beginning with Dave Lamont's pregame at 7. This begins after tonight, Jack, the most grueling part of the Heat's remaining schedule. At Detroit Saturday night, back at home against Chicago, and then consecutive road games at Chicago, at Indiana, at Washington, and then April 10th at Charlotte.
Playoff type atmosphere going in just about every one of those games, Eric. But that 4-game road trip is going to be probably the most decisive stretch of games that the Heat will play as the season comes to a fold.
And there's what the Hornets do tonight. A later start at Sacramento. Sunday they wrap up their road trip at Vancouver, come home to the Lakers, right back out to Detroit, and home against Chicago. The Hornets have the tougher schedule, but it's so hard to forecast from game to game. The Heat basically have to take care of their own business. Pat Riley has never missed the playoffs in his 13 previous seasons, and if the Heat could win 7 or 8 of their remaining 13, he should be a playoff coach once again. Well, the Heat will hold 3 basketball camps this summer for kids ages 8 to 17. Camps will be held at Florida International University from July 8th to the 12th, at Hollywood Hills from July 15th to the 19th, and July 22nd through the 26th. The camps feature instruction from Heat players, coaches, and guest speakers. You don't want your child to miss it. For more information, call 305-577-4328.
Eric, the early part of this third period, I think, is going to be a critical one for the Heat. A 14-point lead is nice. To have played well in the first half, as well as the Heat played, is special, but it doesn't mean anything. Nothing goes into the record book with halftime scores. And I think for the Bullets, who look to me as they warm up, a little bit tougher air about them, a little more determination in the eyes, a little more focus in their preparation for the second half. So I think the Heat will have to turn them back and do it right away.
And we're glad you're with us tonight here from Miami Arena in downtown Miami, Florida, where we start the second half. The Heat leading 52-41. I'm Eric Reed with Jack Ramsey, Dave Lamont, and the Sunshine Gang. Well, the Heat go to work first offensively here in the second half as our arena crowd settles back in.
Oh, great play.
The Wizard on the stuff down from Hardaway.
Oh, wait.
And now Ronnie Nunn takes it away and calls it offensive interference.
Good call. The ball was thrown over the rim, and you can't touch a ball over the rim.
Pat Riley wasn't buying it.
Yeah, see, that ball, the pass was too perfect. And you've got to catch it out of the cylinder and then stuff it down. That's a good call by Ronnie Nunn, as unpopular as it was.
Juwan Howard guarded well all night by Kurt Thomas. Well, he had to work for that one, but Howard did. He's got a dozen points now.
The Heat not going for any of Howard's jukes and fakes, but that time he just got that ball over Kurt Thomas for the score.
Thomas over Murison. Boy, he's close and tough when he gets that close to the goal. 6 points and 6 boards tonight for Kurt. And the Heat lead by 14 a minute into the third quarter. Good screen set by Murison. Chaney lets the defense clear and buries the jumper.
Albert Chaney has improved his game. He's always been a pretty good shooter, but he puts it on the floor now with aggressiveness and purpose.
Zoe got in and then traveled. Well, interesting you mentioned Chaney. Last year he averaged nearly 17 points a game. This year about 2 points under that, but in his last 5 games he's put together Calbert Chaney-like efforts. 52% shooting and those same 17 points a game.
And a lot of the problem has been because of injury, Eric. He's had a ton of physical problems this year.
He missed 11 games earlier this year with ankle problems. Howard from
pass.
Brent Price.
Yes, great pass. Touch pass off the dribble by Brent Price. And the Bullets come within 10.
Juwan Howard now with 14. Brent Price with 3 assists. Williams leaning in and hitting. Walt Williams hasn't shot much, but he hasn't missed at all. He's 3 for 3, 6 points.
That's a high degree of difficulty on that shot. Shooting a hanger on the move like that, that's a tough shot to control.
Bullets down a dozen.
Look at Kurt Thomas work against Howard.
Lonzo Mourning denying Eccles on the drive, but Mourning picks up the foul. Just Zoe's second tonight.
Look at Howard bring his team together at the free throw line with a little information that he wanted to impart. Watch Eccles take the ball strong to the hoop, get the contact, hang in the air, and get to the free throw line.
Jack talking about the leadership skills of Juwan Howard, talking with your good friend and the head coach of the Bullets, Jim Lynam, earlier tonight. He gave a lot of credit to Howard's coach at Michigan, Steve Fisher.
Yes, he did. He thinks players coming out of Michigan are very well prepared for NBA basketball. The Bullets going to trap now. It's just a token.
Bullets are 12 of 13 at the line tonight. Thomas not taking no for an answer on the second try. He was fouled by George Murison. That's the third foul on the Washington center.
The Bullets had a little bit of a trap as Howard came after the ball in the backcourt. That left Thomas open, and Kirk took it to the basket strong. Got no foul call initially, but pursued the ball, took it back up, and got to the line.
And they actually changed that call. It is on Calbert Chaney, his first. Kirk Thomas, a very fundamentally sound player, and a guy that has progressed through his rookie year. The number 10 pick at a TCU, a strong choice by Dave Wohl in the June draft.
He's made huge strides, Eric, in his development this year.
He's a beneficiary of great playing minutes since the 3 trades.
Nice footwork. Walt Williams on that one. Two good ones.
Eccles leaning in. And Kurt Thomas with his 8th rebound of the game.
He can run. Look at that look ahead by Hardaway.
Wizard over Murison, his first miss of the night. Juwan Howard clears only his 3rd rebound of the game. 9 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Miami up 11. Juwan Howard over Thomas. You let him in the paint and you ask for trouble. Juwan Howard now has 16 points. Miami's lead only 9. Bullets keep coming. Murison over the top, knocks it out of bounds. Shot clock at 12 when the Heat inbound.
Big George, 7'7", with extremely long arms. He can reach from behind to knock balls away, as he did that time with Mourning.
Murison had 6 block shots when these clubs met first time this year.
Here he goes.
Has 5 tonight. Rex Chapman, he gets his first bucket on his 8th shot.
The streaker. Rex Chapman might hit a series of shots now that he's gotten the lid off the hoop.
He ran into Rex's lovely wife at halftime with his 2 children, Zeke and Kaylee. Calbert Chaney warded off, no call. Here comes Kurt Thomas off his 9th board. Well, the Heat by 11. Hardaway, 11 points, 7 assists with a left hand, but Murison able to get his 10th rebound. Chaney. Double on Howard.
Good play by Mourning because Murison wasn't in the front court.
Juwan finds Eccles for a triple. Liddell Eccles making his 35th 3 of the year and his 2nd tonight.
Howard urges his teammates on as he returns to defense.
Just an 8-point Heat lead. Hardaway for Zoe.
Oh, what a play by Tim Hardaway. Shake and bake with the dribble, draw the defenders, make the pass, and Mourning with the accommodating stuff.
Lonzo has 31. He's turned Miami into Stuff City tonight.
Terrific defense by Rex Chapman.
Brent Price stolen by Walt Williams. Here comes Hardaway for Williams, and from behind, Juwan Howard without the foul knocked it out of bounds.
Oh, that's terrific transition defensive effort by Howard, who was a couple of strides behind the play. Watch this. Here's the pass by Hardaway, and Howard never broke stride.
Well, you already love his skill. Tonight you are very impressed with the intensity that Juwan Howard works with. Timeout to the Heat, leading by 10.
is a Briggs & Stratton engine.
From downtown Miami, welcome back inside Miami Arena. Eric Reed, Jack Ramsey, Sunshine Networks crew with you tonight. Zoe with 31, and he'll get a chance to shoot a couple more on George Muresan's third foul. This a game Miami has led right throughout. They scored the game's first 10 points, and they've had control of it.
Well, watch Zoe. So many times when the defender against Zoe has given him space, he's succumbed to that lure by shooting the perimeter shot. Tonight, he's taken the ball at Murasan on almost every occasion, and it's gotten him to the free throw line, and it's gotten him second chance points.
And on the heels of his 3 of 13 effort at the foul line, look at those numbers tonight.
Eric, I contend it's all mechanics and the psychological confidence that goes with knowing you're shooting the ball well from the line.
Zoe has 33 points to go with 10 rebounds, and Miami's lead is a dozen with just under 7 minutes left here in the third quarter.
Murasan fighting his way all the way into the paint. Great position by Mourning, however.
Walt Williams with his 5th rebound. He'd have a chance to build on this lead. Their largest of the game was 14. Here's the Wizard for 3, and now they lead it 69-54, so the lead is 15 and their biggest of the game. Hardaway just picked up his 9th assist. Brent Price rolling one home. The third-year guard now with 6 points.
Nice soft touch by Price.
A crossover dribble by Tim Hardaway. That will freeze you. Brent Price
Hardaway
picking up the foul, his 4th.
Took a pretty good shot to the face. Watch Tim Hardaway. Now you see him. Now you don't. He's gone.
And he got a shot to the
he
jaw.
did. Yes.
Of course, Brent's older brother Mark, as Brent leaves the game with his 4th foul. Chris Whitney coming in. Mark Price has played in just 7 games this year. Out with that same left foot problem, but he does not plan on retiring. He hopes to come back next season.
He's not satisfied with that kind of a performance, Eric.
Tim Hardaway. A 3-pointer for Tim. He's got 14 points to go with 9 assists, and the Heat lead it by 16 now. This is their biggest lead.
Pat Riley continuing to urge his team on at the defensive end, and then just wait for the benefits on offense.
Zoe from 17 feet out, right on the money, 35 for number 33. And right now it's target practice for Miami. Now Rocky was in the house earlier, and now Zoe taking over. Yo, Adrian, the Heat are running away with it. Back here in Miami, the Heat by 18, and this man putting on a show.
Lonzo Mourning with a little shadow boxing. A left and a right and a right and a left and a slap on the hand.
And there is the fight doctor, Ferdy Pacheco. He likes what he sees out of Mourning, the shadow boxing, and he's looking for a TKO on the Bullets. Mourning with 35 points, 10 rebounds. Zoe's season high, by the way, 45 against the Boston Celtics earlier this year. 5:28 left, third quarter. Illegal defense against Juwan Howard and Washington. Howard having a little dialogue with the Heat bench. Keith Askins and Howard exchanging a little trash talking.
Now, if they called that illegal defense on Tim Hardaway, it was because his foot was on the free throw line. Now, that's calling it fine, but that's calling it exact.
The Bullets tonight have made 13 of 14 free throws. They came into the game having hit 31 consecutive foul shots.
Kurt Thomas really working. That's what Pat Riley calls butt fronting.
Excuse me?
Butt fronting. That means you put your butt in the other guy's post-up position. Look at
Shot
this
clock at
defense.
7.
Look at this defense.
Zoe went down. And he got the rebound sitting. His 11th board from his keister.
You won't see many of those, Eric.
That's great. We got to see that again. Here's Kurt Thomas. Juwan Howard swipes it out of bounds. You know, everything coming the way of Alonzo Mourning tonight. You know you're living well when you're sitting on the floor and you get your 11th rebound.
Well, there's the ball. And who's there? That's great position, Zoe.
Great work by Jim Dussel and our All-Star Sunshine gang. Chris Whitney off and running. Whitney against Hardaway. Got the bucket plus tax.
Nice play, Chris Whitney. You got to admire this little guy, Eric. Another refugee from the CBA who just keeps hanging around and getting a chance to play. Clemson graduate from 1993. In his third year with one NBA team or another.
Yeah, he was a second-round pick by the Spurs. He lasted 2 years with San Antonio. And then this year, Jack, a teammate of former Heat forward Willie Burton's with the Florida Beach Dogs up in Palm Beach in the CBA.
And Scotty Robertson, the Heat assistant coach, said, we looked at Whitney, came with an ace of drawing him on our roster when we had some injuries.
He told us that.
He told us. Scotty told us that.
Heat leading by 14. Mourning over Murison, and Big George commits his 4th foul.
I like Zoe's game tonight, Eric. Not just the points. I like the way he's taking it to the basket, the footwork. You notice there has not been a walking call against Alonzo Mourning, whereas earlier in the year he was getting a rash of them. I think some erroneously, but his footwork has been very solid.
Matter of fact, Jack, the Heat have just 4 turnovers tonight, and this is a club, the Bullets, that force 17 turnovers a game, which is 5th best in the NBA. And Alonzo Mourning, 36 points, 10 of 10 at the foul line.
Good free throw shooting is no accident.
And the Heat by 16 thanks to 37 from Zoe. Liddell over Mourning, nicely done by Eccles. Eccles has 7 here in the third and 16 for the night.
I don't think you could call Liddell the tank anymore, Eric.
Here's Hardaway. And Liddell does look in good shape, Jack.
Trimmer, sleeker, faster. All goes together.
Glad he's back with the Bullets and in the NBA. His electrician career can wait. Albert Cheney.
Nice. That's great defense. Good footwork, Walt Williams. Great help, Alonzo Mourning. And great rotation by Tim Hardaway to knock that pass aside. Take a look at the defense. There's the ball being put on the floor by Calbert Cheney. Williams, pretty good footwork. Mourning is there. Hardaway to the rotation. And the Bullets only get a recovery of the ball out of bounds.
And the Bullets take their 22nd timeout. You know, Jack, we talked all about the three-point shooting for Washington being one of their best assets. Tonight, the Heat have kept the three-point shooters in check. Washington has made 2, and they've attempted 6 behind the three-point arc.
Yeah, 6 is not a high number, Eric. You know, the Bullets have been looking for a point guard. Not many people know they have Kevin Johnson on their team. But it's not Kevin Johnson, the point guard. It's Kevin Johnson, the trainer. That gentleman right there. Terrific guy.
Jack, 2 other familiar guys on that Bullets bench. Former Heat assistant Bob Stack and Buzz Brayman, the veteran shooting coach. Interesting story behind Buzz and the Bullets.
Yes. Chris Webber, who had had shooting woes from the free throw line and from the perimeter, hired Buzz Brayman as a shooting consultant over the summer and insisted that in the new contract he get Brayman with the team.
The Miami defense giving Calbert Cheney fits. Foul finally called on Walt Williams. And that is the Wizards' 4th tonight.
Let's watch Cheney. Doesn't really have good control. The Wizard knocked that ball away. Was Cheney's foot on the line?
Here's Walt Williams is from Maryland. He played collegiately for Gary Williams at the University of Maryland and is a Maryland native. This game being televised back to the Maryland area, so the Wizard looking good in front of his home folks. Kurt Thomas and Walt Williams sit down. Rex Chapman, actually Chris Gatling and Keith Askins come on.
Post up.
And Whitney nearly had the steal. By the way, Sylvester Stallone, who disappeared late in the second quarter, must have heard about Alonzo Mourning's shadow boxing. He has come back.
Don't get near him, though, Sly. Don't catch one of those lefts.
Of course, Sly loves Miami, a big Heat fan and a big fan of this city. 3.5 minutes to go, third quarter. The Heat leading it 76-63. The Heat have been up by as much as 18. Alonzo.
Nice pass.
Gatling. The corner jumper for the Energizer. Chris Gatling, just his second score. He has 4 points.
Well, when your big guy can penetrate and assist an open teammate, you got a real player.
Eccles over Zoe. Askins out battling everybody for the rebound.
Including Gatling.
Hardaway.
Oh, my.
Oh, brother. 10th assist for Timmy. 39 points for Alonzo.
And George Murison is just hanging his head. That's a long way to go.
Jack, a growing tandem in prowess. Tim Hardaway and Alonzo Mourning. They're getting it done.
There's your score in time in Miami Arena, as loud as we've heard it all season long. You know, we've been kind of an undercut theme tonight about boxing. Sylvester Stallone is here. We've seen Alonzo Mourning. We're with the fight doctor, Ferdy Pacheco. What did you think of Zoe's boxing form, Doc?
I like those inside uppercuts. I tell you what, I'm ready to offer him $5 million to come fight Tyson. He's got the size, he's got the shape, and certainly he can do better than Frank Bruno.
But he might have the brains, Alonzo is, to stay away from the champ.
Well, as long as he keeps hitting the foul shots that he's hitting tonight, I'm for Alonzo to stay right here with the Heat until he grows to be an old man.
Doc, thank you very much. Gentlemen, back to you.
Nice words from the fight doctor. Gatling on the miss. George Murison, while we were away, made a bucket, so the Heat lead is 15 with 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. I like that thought, though. Alonzo against Frank Bruno for the rights to meet Tyson.
Keith Askins. Boy, does he harass you at the defensive end. Unfortunately reached in.
And Askins commits the foul. You know what he does? Keith Askins plays mother-in-law defense, and that means constant pressure and harassment.
And nagging. Doesn't that go with it?
I hope my mother-in-law's not watching.
Calvert Chaney is a different player in that first year in the league. Look at Mourning work with Murison.
Big George.
Whoa.
Struggled to get it off, but did. George Murison now with 10, but he's been outscored by Alonzo 39-10. Bullets led by Juwan Howard, 16 points. Alonzo leads the Heat with 39, and that one popped out. Mourning looking for his third 40-point game of the year. Chris Gatling raked across the face. The foul is on Bob McCann. McCann, a journeyman out of Morehead State in Tennessee, played in the CBA a year ago, and this is his fourth different NBA club.
McCann, a big-bodied guy. Not a lot of basketball skills, but a lot of hustle and effort. Good board man. Plays hard every night. That's what Jim Lynam likes about him.
Chris Gatling, you see his thumb taped on his left hand. He jammed that thumb a little bit in the pregame warmups. Alonzo Mourning gets a seat as you look at the tape on the hands of Gatling. Mourning goes to the bench with 39 and 11 rebounds. Danny Shays is back in.
Gatling regaining that shooting touch from the line.
Tonight the Heat are 16 of 21 at the foul line.
Screen and roll.
Heat lead it by 15. Big George underneath. Shays from behind with a block. McCann knocks it away out of bounds and commits the foul. Big Bob looks like a linebacker. That's his second foul. Bullets over the limit. By the way, Tim Hardaway, Jack, another double-double. That's 6 in a row for Hardaway. 14 points, 10 assists.
10 assists, Eric. A lot of them in transition. Some off penetrations. This guy never gets his head down. Always eyes up, looking for open teammates.
Tim Hardaway ranking 9th in the league in assists, 18th in the league in steals. And with Miami in 15 games prior to tonight, averaging 18 points, just under 10 assists, and right at 2 steals a game. All-star caliber play from Tim Hardaway, who is a 3-time All-Star. Heat leading by 16 with under a minute left, third quarter. And Danny Shays with a blocking foul on the defensive Tim Legler. Both clubs over the limit now here in the third quarter, so Legler will go to the line for 2. Tim with just 4 points tonight.
Hardaway only 1 turnover, Eric. 10 assists, 10-to-1 assist-turnover ratio.
Wow, that would give him in the last 3 games 36 assists, 4 turnovers.
9-to-1 by quick calculation. That's excellent. 3-to-1 is very good.
Well, we saw the fight doctor. We're sitting next to the hoop doctor. And enjoying the play with the Heat leading at 83-69. 40 seconds left, third quarter here in Miami. At Detroit tomorrow night. Big game, 7:30 tip on UPN 33.
Good defense by Chris Whitney on that one against Hardaway. Hardaway very tough to defend.
Just the 5th turnover tonight.
Coming up with the answer on that one.
Quick move by Whitney, but he coughed it up. Gatling looking long, settles for Hardaway in the backcourt.
Heat will hold for 1. This is going to be 1-on-1. Hardaway against Whitney, and the floor spread. The other players waiting to see what develops out of this play.
Haskins, tough shot. And the rebound on McCann. This is Legler looking to get off the last shot of the quarter. And he does. But it bounces off. So the Heat behind 39 points and 11 rebounds from Alonzo Mourning in cruise control. Head to the 4th with Miami up 14. Heat led by 8 after 1, by 14 at the half, and by 14 as we make the turn for the fourth quarter here in Miami. Eric Reed and the doctor Jack Ramsey along with Dave Lamont. And let's take a look at our game summary brought to you by Discover Card. A dominant performance right from the opening bell by Alonzo Mourning. He has 39 along with 11 rebounds and 2 blocks. Juwan Howard leading the Bullets, but Jack, the Heat having their way with their Atlantic Division rivals.
Well, so much is hinges on taking the ball at Murison, Eric. Remember, one of the keys to the game, take it at the big guy, make him commit at the defensive end. He's been lured into 4 personal fouls and unable to stop Mourning, who's been just dynamite around the basket area. But the Heat can't afford to relax against this team that can put a lot of points on the board in a hurry.
So just 6 points away from his career best. Meanwhile, Murison has 10 points, 10 rebounds, 5 blocks. Now that fronting defense by Haskins to knock it away from Juwan Howard. 5 to shoot. Howard busy. But it bounces off to Chris Gatling.
What defense. This is just outstanding play by the Miami.
Look at that pass. But McElvain from behind blocks the Danny Shays shot. Would have been the 11th assist for Tim the Tank Hardaway.
That's what Jim Lynam was talking about when he extolled the shot blocking abilities of McElvain.
Whitney on the drive over Haskins. McElvain runs it down. Legler looking for his first triple. It bounced off.
Big rebound.
There's Whitney coming out with it. This is Howard. Shays from behind with a block. Gatling on the floor for the loose ball. He and Howard scrap. And finally, sanity prevails. Almost a fight. It turns into a love fest.
2 good competitors, Eric, and both showing respect for the other. Let's watch this ball on the floor. Shays getting a piece of that shot from behind, and then the scramble.
From Mayhem to Woodstock here.
Where is Mayhem? I know where Woodstock is.
Mayhem, New York, just
okay.
east of Massapequa.
Howard's going to back tap right into that pocket if he can, and he does.
11 minutes to play in this game. Miami in front by 14. The Heat looking to make it 36 wins on the year and hoping the Hornets lose at Sacramento tonight. Those two clubs, Miami and Charlotte, tied for the final playoff spot.
Nice play.
Bob McCann slicing in for his first two. Bob McCann acquired from the Milwaukee Bucks for Kevin Duckworth earlier this year.
Pat Riley knows that you cannot relax against this Bullet team. He wants Gatling in the ball, in the paint, and gets him.
The kiss off the glass. Gatling has 8. And the Heat again by 14.
That's a nice play by Chris Gatling. Little fadeaway left-hand jumper.
Legler against Chapman. Leans in.
Nice play by both players. Good defense by Chapman. Nice shot control by Tim Legler.
Legler has 6 points in the game, and the Heat by a dozen.
Good entry pass by Chapman.
Gatling had to change his mind. Legler comes up with a steal. And he turns it over. Oh, Woody Mayfield lets him get away with it. Looked like a palm, just a high dribble.
I think it was, Eric. I think it was just a high dribble.
Here's Howard working on Askins. Oh, the great defense just continues for the Heat. Whitney had to invent a shot, and he'll earn himself a trip to the foul line.
Let's take a look again at Tim Legler. Watch this. See that ball? He never had the ball on the palm of his hand. It was a high dribble, and he reached up for it and brought it down. That's legal dribble. It's not pretty, but it's legal.
Danny Shays picks up the foul. He also takes a seat. Alonzo Mourning is back. And Tony Smith on to give Tim Hardaway a rest. Hardaway leaves with 14 and 10 assists.
Critical time right now for the Miami Heat without Hardaway, with Tony Smith and Chapman to handle the ball and execute the offense. Guards have not shot it well for the Heat tonight.
Nope.
And I think they're going to have to make sure they can secure this victory.
Tim Hardaway is 5 out of 14. Rex Chapman just 1 out of 9. And the Heat lead is only 10 with 9:18 left. So the Bullets making another run back. 8 to shoot on this possession.
Shaky with the ball handling here.
And another turnover. Whitney with Howard. And the Heat defense hustles back. 9 minutes left. And Bob McCann and Chris Gatling battling man-to-man. Gatling called for the foul. That's his 3rd, and the Heat's 2nd.
Well, 2 very physical players getting caught in hand-to-hand combat, and Gatling being assessed with the foul. He's trying to plead his case to Tim Bernhardt, who's listening but not changing his mind at all.
Nice of him to listen, though. Legler blocked from behind, but a late whistle and foul. And Ronnie Nunn going to call out Keith Askins' number on the foul. That's number 2 on Keith, number 3 on the Heat.
Let's take a look at the play. Tim Legler squeezing across the lane and, yes, drawing contact. So Legler, almost automatic from the free throw line, will get the Bullets back to single digits. Almost.
A rare miss for Legler at the free throw line.
I said almost.
He had made 22 in a row prior to that one.
What are the odds that he will make this? I would say close to 100 to 1. And I'm wrong. How about that? Tim Legler missing 2 in a row.
And the Heat lead stays at 10 with 8:47 left in the game. Rex Chapman just 2 points tonight. And Legler called for the foul. Of course, you mentioned you and Jim Lynam watching Legler at the Jersey Shore. Your relationship with the head coach of the Bullets goes back a long way. You coached him at St. Joe's, and then he coached with you his entry to the NBA as an assistant with your Portland Trailblazers back in 1981.
And served as a counselor in a basketball camp I had, Eric, in the Poconos. When he was a college player, Rex Chapman getting that one off and down.
So Rex gets another 3. He's got at least 1 in 31 of the last 32 games. Well, we got to get back to that story. Camp in the Poconos, Jack. Do they have heart-shaped tubs?
Not where we had the camp, Eric. But Pocono Mountains, about 75 miles outside of Philadelphia. I used to bring my college team up there to serve as counselors, and the thing that impressed me about Jim Lynam, even when he was a college student and a college player, was his great ability to teach. And he's maintained that quality all the way through his coaching career. He's an excellent teacher and great rapport with his players.
And if you're nothing else, you've got to be a teacher if you're a coach.
Indeed.
8 minutes to play. Rex on the runner.
Nice.
So on the tip. 41 for Alonzo with 12 rebounds. Third time this year. Mourning as Pierce the 40-point mark.
Nice shooting opportunity created by Chapman. That didn't go, but it opened up the tip for Zoe. Let's watch Zoe. Let's watch Chapman first get open using that screen. Put it on the floor. Shoot the runner. He's usually good with that. And then Mourning, high, gentle control with the tip and the score.
So the Heat lead by 15 with 7:40 to play in a game Miami has never trailed. And inside, an offensive foul charged to Juwan Howard, his third foul. Heat taking great care of the basketball tonight. Just 6 turnovers. Their previous low for a game in November against the Dallas Mavericks when they turned it over just 9 times.
This could be a record performance for the Heat in that category, therefore. Let's see if they can get it.
Mourning against McIlvaine. Right at him. 2 more. 43 for Zoe. He's 2 away from equaling his career high.
Oh boy, what a game he is playing, Eric. What a game at both ends of the floor.
17-point lead for the Heat. Askins and Howard, they are really battling. McIlvaine and Rex Chapman bumping him for the foul. Rex picking up his second. So what a show it's been by Alonzo Mourning tonight with 43 points and a dozen rebounds.
And not a bad foul to take on Jim McIlvaine, who's a 57% shooter from the line. Now, I already erred in saying Legler was going to make. Let's see what a 57% shooter does with these 2 efforts.
Jim McIlvaine, Jack, was signed to an offer sheet by the Minnesota Timberwolves in the offseason. A big 1-year offer. The Bullets match, but this guy will be on the free agent market again.
There's a lot of interest in him, Eric. Even though he can't score at this point in his career, he can block shots, and he shows promise to developing the rest of his game.
It's interesting to hear Jim Lynam talk about McIlvaine. He says maybe even in years 5 and 6 he'll be a guy that's still on the ascent.
I think he'll keep maintaining steady improvement. Nice by Rex.
Now guess who's heating up, gang? Rex Chapman. Rex now with 7 points, 5 here in the 4th quarter. The Heat busting this one open. Timeout Washington. Miami leading by 19.
Heat by 19, would you believe it? That time remaining in the 4th. Let's watch Rex Chapman here. How does a guard get open from the weak side? He can take his man under and flash out there. He can start under again and come here. Or if the lane is open, just take it. Watch him against Tim Legler. He points, and now he just slices over the top. Gets Legler there one-on-one. Now Tim Legler, what am I going to do? I'm going to fade and shoot the jumper. Tough to play Rex Chapman when he moves without the ball.
Now Rex played the last 3 years with the Washington Bullets. A frustrating point in his career. He missed 81 games with injuries over the last 3 years, but did average 18 a game, a career best for them 2 years ago.
Oh, these fans are really into this game, Eric.
Yeah, they've enjoyed a terrific Heat performance right from the opening tip. Howard tees one up, knocks it down. Juwan with 18 points. He leads Washington, and that was his first score of the 4th quarter.
Our caller pregame asked if the Heat would be interested in Juwan Howard. everybody's interested in Juwan Howard because he's a player. He can do it all, folks.
Well, he'd really add depth to Miami's front court. No telling what the roster's going to look like next year. And from this vantage point, we're more concerned with the next game.
Oh, yeah.
At Detroit tomorrow night, 7:30 tip on UPN 33. Join us. And that's a travel on Alonzo Mourning.
No, not a good call. And Alonzo is trying to get Tim Bernhardt's attention to explain. No, he came across, Tim, you're wrong. Or Ted, you're wrong.
Alonzo Mourning with 43 points tonight. One of the highest scoring single game efforts in Heat history. The all-time franchise best, 56 by Glenn Rice. A couple of Aprils ago against Orlando. Rice also had a 46-point game and twice scored 45 points for the Heat. Whereas Alonzo earlier this year had 45 against Boston. Chapman goes to the bench with 7 points on 3 for 12 shooting. And Tim Hardaway is back with his 14 points and 10 assists. Now, Juwan Howard going to have a very interesting summer, Jack, as he sorts out his options. One of the most coveted free agents that is likely to move.
Eric, I would respectfully disagree. I think he's going to stay right in Washington, D.C. I think they will come up with numbers. I think he likes to play with Chris Webber, who is a fixture there. And he likes to play for Coach Jim Montgomery. I think he'll be there.
That's obviously a priority for the Bullets to keep him. Gatling on a handoff. Mourning draws another foul on George Murison. That's number 5 on George. But Chris Gatling gets bumped and battered on a nightly basis, but he hangs in.
This is good work against the Bullets' trap. Remember, they forced 17 turnovers a game. Gatling takes it at Murison, then dishes to Mourning, and Zoe takes it to the hoop and draws the foul on Big George.
Let's see if Zoe can stay perfect at the stripe. Gotta love it. 44 for Alonzo. This to equal his career high.
Ever since that game in San Antonio, when Pat Riley was shuffling his lineup and had both Hardaway and Mourning out of the game at the same time, he has never left the team without one of those guys on the floor. Great block by Askins.
How about that? Off the launch pad through the ozone for the block shot, but Askins called for the foul. Actually, the foul on Tony Smith, his second of the night. That'll put Murison at the line.
Watch the pass. The Heat had overshifted. I don't know that Smith touched him at all. At any rate, a great effort by Keith Askins that puts Big George on the line. Soft touch for a big guy. Big men frequently have trouble from the free throw line because they're releasing the ball almost at basket level. But Murison has developed a pretty good touch.
5.5 minutes to go. Miami by 16. Game that hasn't been in doubt for a long time. Hardaway from the top for 2. Tim Hardaway, 16 points to go with his 10 assists.
Hardaway can shoot it almost any time he wants because he invites such a threat on the drive.
George too deep, and that was an easy score for him. The foul on Tim Hardaway in second. But George Murison now with 13 points. Alonzo looked like he was at the bottom of a volcano. He just backed away.
Pretty good numbers for Murison. 15 points, 10 rebounds. But only 1 to 2 assist turnovers. 2 turnovers for every assist is what that translates to.
15-point lead.
Nice.
Gatling on the runner, and
Yes.
he did get fouled and took another hard landing.
Good night, George.
Yes, Murison fouls out, Jack, for the 8th time this year. George leaves the game with 14 points, 10 boards, 5 blocks.
Remember, take the ball at Murison, which is one of our keys. And that's exactly what the Heat have done tonight.
And there are your field goal percentage leaders. Chris Gatling looking to win his second consecutive field goal percentage crown in very impressive company.
Oh, yes. Those three guys. You notice it's mostly the big guys who are contenders for field goal percentage leadership. That's because they shoot most of their shots right in the basket area.
Chris Gatling in double figures with 11 points. He also has 5 rebounds.
Cheney getting open. Wow.
Askins and McIlvaine colliding. Whitney hitting a three-pointer. It's Whitney's first triple of the night. He is 12 for 23 on the year from three-point land.
Bullets in a semi-trap and now back off straight man-to-man.
14-point Heat lead, 4.5 minutes left. And the folks want Zoe to get more. He's already got 45 points. And he lost that one, but was fouled, a call that Jimmy Lynam does not like at all. The foul was charged to Chris Whitney, and that's his 4th. Alonzo will go back to the line where he is 13 of 13.
Jimmy Lynam showing his displeasure there at the sideline, but not enough to be assessed a technical foul. Jimmy had it.
Jimmy about ready to pop right through that tie. 100% Philadelphia right there, Jack.
Oh, he's a great little guy.
Now Alonzo shooting for his career best right here. And he gets it, 46 points. And if you were with us from the start, you enjoyed every one of them. And the 46 equaled Glenn Rice's outing as the second best scoring night in Heat history. 4:10 to
Double,
go.
good double and great rotation.
Calvert Cheney from the baseline. Now
Keith
has
Askins
11 points.
overran it a little bit, allowed Cheney the ability to receive the ball, and again the chant goes up from the fans. They want the ball in Zoe's hands.
You know what they're looking for, Jack, a 50-point game. We've never seen it except once from a Heat player. And Jim McIlvaine tried to stop the dunk. He did it with a foul. And Alonzo will go back looking for points 47 and 48.
And you know what that huddle is about, Eric? I think Tim Hardaway called the team together and said, hey guys, get it to Zoe. Let's get him a record here.
Well, Zoe be it tonight. 3:48 left. 47 and counting.
Now, I don't think Alonzo Mourning will disdain a record, but that's not what he's about. He's about winning. So he'll take the record if it comes. If not, he'll be very pleased with his free throw percentage, #1.
15 for 16 tonight, Jack, and he's a deuce away from 5-0. Heat leading it 103 to 88, 3:37 left. Liddell for 3. McIlvaine lost it off his hands, but Gatling knocked it away out of bounds. Now the Heat on the night shooting 48% from the field with just 7 turnovers. They've out-rebounded the Bullets by 11. Eccles barrels in, is called for the offensive foul. Keith Askins drawing the charge.
Keith Askins. He is usually everywhere where good things happen at the defensive end.
Well, every time the Heat get it, this crowd puts it in another gear. They want it in the hands of Mourning.
High screen and roll between Hardaway and Mourning. Here it comes.
And that will be an illegal screen set by Alonzo.
Yeah, he moved into Chris Whitney instead of holding his position.
Third on Mourning. Heat by 15. 3:13 left.
Look at Gatling and Howard go at it.
This is Cheney. and he hits a triple. Albert Cheney with 14 points.
Still a lot of time left. Almost 3 minutes in this game. Heat leading by 12.
Here comes Zoe, looking for 50.
He's got it.
A 50-point night for Mourning. Eccles had a nice roll.
Talk about soft touch.
18 for Eccles, and as long as he's at it, why not get another couple? The Heat franchise record is 56, held by Glenn Rice. This a career best for Mourning.
Great play, Hardaway.
Well, call off the Dogs. The Heat are up 14 with 2 minutes left. Hardaway just picked up his 12th assist. Gatling now with 13 points. Eccles for
Nice
Howard.
pass work. Nice pass work by the Bullets. They can't get a score.
Keith Haskins picks up the loose ball. Gatling. McIlvain with a block. Tony Smith on the follow. First basket tonight for Tony. And the Heat leading it 109-93. Timeout Bullets. And bask in the glory of your 50-point game, big fella. Miami in a cruise toward win number 36. They lead it by 16, and what a night for Alonzo Mourning, the Heat's all-star center. This his 50th point of the night.
Yeah, Mourning with a nice sweep across the lane. Throw in that soft hooker.
He's done it all. 50 points, a dozen rebounds. He's our player of the game. Brought to you by Great Western Bank's family of companies. Responding after the disappointing loss to Los Angeles when he missed 10 of 13 free throws. Jack, tonight he was outstanding at the foul line. He made 15. Actually, he made 16 of 17.
Well, I think that's what he can do, Eric. That's what he has done.
So Mourning and Hardaway sit down, and they'll start thinking about the Detroit Pistons tomorrow night. Night ends for Hardaway with 16 points and a dozen assists. For Tim, 6 consecutive double-doubles. Now the Bullets with this loss will fall to 32 and 39. They'll drop 4.5 games behind the Heat. Tony Smith for 3.
Rainbow shot by Tony Smith. Good arc. Good rotation. Bottom of the net.
Miami's record will go to 36 and 34. For the moment, they will be just 3.5 behind the Detroit Pistons, setting up a showdown tomorrow night at the Palace. That's Bob Thornton, just signed to a 10-day about a week ago. Thornton, a journeyman in the NBA.
Good
Just a
team
countdown
guy.
now.
Good team guys. Play short minutes or might start for you in a pinch.
Here's Rashawn Leonard, the rainbow from three-point land. Whitney was stripped by Leonard. Thornton and Gatling with a rebound. 8 boards for Gatling. Very pleasing performance by the Heat. You remember the start? Miami came out of focus group, scored the first 10 points, and they never looked back.
Outstanding performance tonight in every department by these Miami Heat. Great night for Coach Riley and his players.
Happy times here in the Heat's house. Win number 792 for Pat Riley. And a night Alonzo Mourning will never forget. His first career